Grief does not always look like tears. Sometimes it looks like a man sitting perfectly still, trying to keep the world from collapsing through sheer force of will. And sometimes it looks like a spine snapping in half. Fisk stands over the doctor who performed Vanessa's surgery. The man offers condolences, soft and careful,
Beautiful darkness that awaits us all.
like he's speaking to a bomb. That was the mistake. Because Fisk does not need condolences. He needs his wife. And when he cannot have that, all that grief finds somewhere else to go. So he breaks the man. Just like that. Clean, cruel, instant. A reminder that Fisk's sorrow is still a weapon. And this is the first consequence of the episode. When a man like Fisk loses control, the entire city feels it. The room is silent. Not sacred silent, dangerous silent. The kind of silence that gets heavier the longer it sits there. Fisk doesn't speak, not because he has nothing to say, because anything he says now would sound like a threat. He walks forward, places a single rose on Vanessa's white casket, and leaves. No speech, no tears, no performance, just the absence of a man who used to think power could protect love. But power never protected anything. It only delayed the collapse. Somewhere else in the city, Jessica Jones is doing what Jessica Jones always does, getting dragged into a problem by people worse at being alive than she is. Men are hunting her. Because of course they are. Peace in this universe lasts about 6 seconds before somebody with a gun ruins it. Then we get the shot. Jessica moving through them like a storm with a hangover. Fast, dirty, brutal. No elegance, no grace, just survival. And then we see it. Her kid. The first time. A flashbang about to go off. The child reaches for it like a toy.
This is not a toy.
That line lands because it's not just about the grenade, about the fact that Jessica Jones now has someone in the room she can actually lose. That changes everything. And for a second, her powers feel different. Not weaker, heavier, because now every hit has a cost. Back in the bunker, Matt and Karen sit inside. The kind of tension that makes the air itself feel guilty. They talk about the morality of it all, about what happens when mercy keeps getting people killed, about whether the right thing still means anything when every option ends in blood. Karen is different now, not softer, not colder, just sharpened by loss. She looks back on that moment in Clinton Church and remembers being the one telling Matt not to kill. Now she sounds like somebody who has watched too much die to keep pretending. The moral high road is always the safest one. She regrets stopping him.
What if I was wrong?
Not because she became evil, because she became tired. Because grief will do that to a person. It will make you call surrender wisdom and call rage clarity.
I know!
And honestly,
Greg, I pay every day for what I did to Wesley. I still have...
you can see why she feels that way. If someone had died sooner, maybe all of this could have been avoided.
But the difference is, I don't regret it. It was
That
him
is
or
the
me.
ugly truth
What if
everyone
everyone's
keeps stepping
him
around.
or you? This
Consequences.
doesn't end.
Not just the dramatic kind,
God forgive me.
the slow kind. The kind that settles in and turns into regret.
He has proven that he will not hesitate.
Then Dex wakes up. He sees Karen and smiles like a man who has never once mistaken madness for insight.
Hello, Karen.
And for the first time, she sees him clearly. Not the weapon, not the threat. Benjamin, a person, a ruined person. And for one brief second, the playing field is even. Dex believes this is the true equation. Everyone gets what they deserve. Everyone pays. Everyone breaks. She raises the gun. She's ready. Karen hears him, sees Foggy, sees the blood, sees all of it collecting into one enormous bill nobody gets to refuse, ready to end it, ready to make the world a little quieter. And then Dex thanks her.
Thank you.
Because of course he does. The man is one bad sentence away from making murder sound like a spiritual experience. Matt stops her with a billy club. That's the moment.
I can't let you do it, Karen.
It's Matt choosing the same impossible thing he's always chosen. Karen is furious, not because he stopped her.
Choosing the wrong people, Fisk! This thing over the people who love you!
What?
And there's something tragic in that.
Oh my God, how can you say that?
Because it's true. Because you
Because
let
she's
them
not
live and
entirely
people die.
wrong. Matt has spent years building his life around this brutal little fantasy that mercy is always enough. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. And that is the problem. Matt looks at her and asks quietly.
What happened to you?
And Karen answers.
I grew up.
That line hits because it's both true and devastating. Growing up does not always mean becoming better. Sometimes it means becoming harder to impress, harder to fool, harder to save. Both sides are right. Both sides are wrong. But one side still gets to wear the moral high ground. And Matt has never stopped standing on it, even when it's cost him everything.
I beat you!
Heather stands in Vanessa's room, grieving a woman she never really knew, but somehow still lost. There's a strange intimacy to it, the kind that comes from stepping into the aftermath of someone else's life and realizing it is now your problem too. She takes the earring she complimented on Vanessa, a quiet theft, a weird little souvenir from the dead. And of course, because this show enjoys making discomfort feel like a hobby, Buck walks in. He offers his support in the least useful way possible. A helping throw. Great work, Buck. Absolutely terrible timing. Heather snaps. She strangles him the same way Mew strangled her. It is twisted, ugly, almost therapeutic in the most unholy sense. Like exposure therapy for someone already standing in the middle of the fire. And that's the thing. This is not healing. It is escalation wearing a disguise. Sure, absolutely. Very normal behavior. Totally not going to become a mass serial killer. Daniel gives BB false information to find out whether she's the mole. Trust in this city is a weapon. Everyone is either loading it or ducking it. And speaking of moles, here comes Powell, the same Powell who got his face caved in by Murdoch. And somehow, he still walks around like he's one clue away from being a genius. He's suspicious, sloppy, and way too comfortable around people he should be terrified of. Naturally, that makes him useful and dangerous. BB goes to Daniel's house for his birthday and meets his mother. It's almost sweet. Almost. The kind of scene that makes you think maybe people can still have normal lives in this story. Which is exactly when the knife comes out. She goes upstairs to use the bathroom. She sees Daniel's room. She sees the choice in front of her. And in the end, she decides not to sell out her friend. Too late though, because Daniel already checked her green coat and figured it out. She is the mole. He blows out his birthday candles, and that's the joke. A birthday party becoming a betrayal. The city does not just rot in alleyways. It rots at dinner tables too. Outside the mayor's office, the city gathers, not as a crowd, as a warning. They are done waiting, done being afraid, done pretending Fisk control is the same thing as order. Then the projector turns on. Beautiful color grading. And then there's Fisk's face. The video Karen recorded plays for everyone to see. The civilians, the victims, the consequences Fisk thought he could keep buried. And he starts losing it, really losing it. Not the polished politician version, the real one. The one underneath. The one that cannot stand being seen. The resistance pushes further. The city starts to answer back. And Fisk goes down to his bunker, staring at the rabbit in the snowstorm painting. His last tie to Vanessa. his last illusion, his last proof that he ever was capable of loving anything without crushing it. And then Daredevil shows up. Of course he does, because this story is not done collecting what is owed. Matt and Fisk face each other, not as symbols, not as legends, as men, as consequences. Matt is done with the facades. Fisk is done pretending he is anything but himself. So they stand there, in costume and white suit, both stripped down in the only way that matters. No lies left, no mask strong enough to matter. Matt tells him this fight is poison, that it destroys everything, that they have both already lost too many people over this. And he is right. That is the awful thing. Matt is almost always right, but being right does not stop the damage. It only explains it. He tells Fisk there is no stopping this. He knows Fisk will not walk away. Fisk knows Matt will not kill him. They both know the shape of this ending before it arrives. Matt says,
for you to walk away, you leave New York. I leave New York.
Fisk answers the only way he can. There is nothing Matt can give
Or take away.
Not anymore. Matt starts to say, the thing that matters, the thing that almost gives them both a different universe. Imagine if we never met. Foggy and Vanessa would still be. And Fisk explodes. That is the wound. That is the trigger. Not the insult, not the threat, the reminder. The possibility that their lives might have been different if their obsession had never started. Fisk throws the chair. Matt dodges it, calm, controlled, like he's been here 100 times, because he has, in every possible form. Outside, the streets riot, the city burns at the edges, and Powell does the unspeakable. He kills the ATF agent who helped Daredevil and Karen. Seriously, fuck that guy. Back to Matt and Fisk. They are not trading punches now. They are answering history. Every hit is a memory. Every block is a grudge. Every breath is a refusal to stop. Fisk grabs Matt's wrist, slams him into the wall, and takes control. For a second, it looks like the old hierarchy all over again. The big man, the broken man, the one who thinks force is the same thing as destiny. Then he throws Matt into the painting, the same painting. The rabbit in the snowstorm, the last remains of Vanessa's world, and now it is stained with blood. Fisk sees it, really sees it. He grabs Matt and beats him, splattering blood across the canvas, a mirror image of the earlier wound, the two of them bleeding into the same symbol, same grief, same ruin. It is almost poetic. Two men standing the same dream until it no longer resembles what it used to be. Matt looks up and asks,
Is this really what you want?
And Fisk answers,
That's what we both want.
that is the line. That is the truth neither of them wants to admit. Not peace, not justice, not mercy. Just the right to be the one still standing when the smoke clears. Matt grabs the billy club. Now they are both animalistic. No philosophy left. No sermons. No speeches. Just the body keeping score. Matt knees Fisk in the jaw. Fisk fights back. The war in the room turns physical and biblical all at once. Karen is unmasked. Everything that was hiding in the dark starts coming into the light, whether it wants to or not. Matt and Fisk end at a standstill. The city outside is on fire. The painting is ruined. The myth is dead. Fisk looks at him and asks the question only a man like him would ask.
What are you going to do? Arrest me? You cannot. Kill me? You will not.
And he is right to ask, because this is the curse of Matt Murdock. He always arrives at the edge of the answer and refuses the one that would make the world simpler. Then we cut to fuckface Powell, the man who beat a blind person and somehow still can't let it go. He finds Karen, and he sees her, and for once, he says the only honest thing he has said all season.
Karen fucking Page.
Karen Page, caught at last. Cut to black. Because of course it ends there. Right when the consequences finally arrive, right when everyone's sins stop being theoretical and become real, right when the bill comes due. And that is the price of all of it. Not just the violence, not just the chaos, not just the choices, the aftermath, the thing no one gets to outrun, the consequences.